Good evening and welcome to today's daily market update for the active investor. This has been recorded 35 minutes before the close of the US markets on Wednesday, the 25th of August. Sorry, 25th of August, 25th of September, I'll get this right. So S&P 500, we made a marginally lower low and then we're pushing back up here today. So that's made the pattern a little more complex. We're not going to get a straightforward impulse down, unfortunately, for the first leg of this move. It looks to be unfolding as a small diagonal. But we are below this 20-day FLD. We haven't crossed back above it, and I'm looking for us to remain below it. If I just take the proper Hurst charts here. So you can see we breached this. We've come down and effectively touched the 40-day. The 20-day has also crossed through the 40-day, which is significant, and we remain below this. So I'm looking for us to remain below this 20-day FLD and come down and breach both the 40-day FLD and VTL next from a Hurst perspective. So from that methodology, everything absolutely intact to the downside. If I then come down and look at the ES, I'll come down to, sorry, the S&P 500, let's come down to a 4-hour chart. So what's not clear here, we've got this pattern here. This can be for an ABC for a 1, and we get a 2 back, 3, 4, 5. That only projects to 28.76. And I would suggest, therefore, we're going to get an A, B, C for this move, if that is what we then see. There are other ways of counting this, where what we've had off the high is a 1, 2, 3, and we're getting an A, B, C for a 4, then we get an A, B, C for a 5th, and that's the 1, then we get the 2. But it's just not possible at this stage with this price action that we have so far to discern between the two. What I have got at the moment is this move down here, then we've got an A, B, C up, and I'm monitoring this on a 3-minute chart in the ES Mini. And we've just about come up to the 50% retrace fib, and also this last leg counts complete as a small impulse. This can either be a 2 and we drop, it can be a 4 and we drop and then make a bigger move up, or it could even be, if it's the 2, the A of it, we get a B, C tomorrow and then down. So while we remain below the high we made the other week at 3022, I am still looking down. From a Hurst perspective, no change, still expecting the 40-week cycle low mid to late October. So the price action is just not going to be kind to us and give us a nice straightforward impulse to the downside, unfortunately. So that's what I've got in the S&P 500. I've got the same in the other indices, with the exception, if I just show you the Dow Jones here. The Dow is in a slightly different pattern. So I've got this A, B, 1, 2, A, B. I'm looking for a C of 3, 4, 5. So nasty is the top and bottom of it. But I'm looking for the Dow Jones to remain below 27,080 from here on in. Okay, metals. Now, so I think everyone thought they were going to new highs. We have this W in, we've got one move down, the move back up that we were expecting, and we've started the move back down that we were also expecting. 1469 on the weekly chart is important. If it holds and we start to go back up, it suggests that this W is not in, and all of the things that I've said in previous weekend updates about the possibility of an impulse and what I'm monitoring on other charts. So the GDX and GC are the charts on the site that I have in this count. I'm monitoring a diagonal in the GDXJ, and I'm monitoring a potential impulse in the Huey. Silver is in a slightly different pattern altogether, but silver came off very strongly today. Now, if I then just take this down the time frame, so this is the daily time frame for GC, and we got the A wave down in 5 waves as expected. We got this A, B, C back up. We came just shy of the target we had for it, and then this huge red candle today, which I think is part of a C wave lower, and it does project to below this 1.0 extension in GC. So if I then bring us all the way down to the hourly chart here. And what I've got, excuse me, what I've got off the high here, you can see this is the fib that I was looking for, this 1539. And we came up today and I thought we were going to just push up and hit it. We didn't. But many of you I know caught this using the trading view charts and what have you, and I know some people were early in yesterday into dust, but we have a very clean 5 wave move down to the 278.6 fib. I'm looking for a two back to 1517 to 1522, possibly 1527, and then the heart of the move down. So once I get the two in and we take out the bottom of the one, I can give you projections. It will project, I think, to the lower end of this target region for a C wave in GC next. If you are short, then I'd put your stops around the 1532 area just in case it wants to visit that 886 zone in GC. If you caught this with dust, the suggestion was to take profits on that as the momentum started to come off dust to the upside on the 15-minute chart, and wait for the wave two to buy it again would be my suggestion to you. So that's what I've got in GC. Now if we then come over and look at Bitcoin, no real change today. It's we've got the 3 in, 4. I'm just looking for the 5 of this 3 down to 79.31 to 76.35. I'm then looking for a 4 back and then the 5th down. The target remains 69.13 in Bitcoin. The alternative is we could just let go here. If you look at this on a daily chart, yeah, then it's possible that we've got an A, B, 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're going to go 3, 4, 5 down to one of these lower fibs. So if we start to just continue, we get another big move down without getting the retrace in the 4 in the diagonal, then that's what I would expect in Bitcoin. Otherwise, the target of the 4-hour chart, if we slice straight through it, then watch 66.14, 55.60, and I suspect 43.43 may well come into play. And once we've got a completed pattern into one of those and a small bounce, that gives you the next long setup in Bitcoin. Okay, that's what I've got for this evening. Let's see what we get when we open up again tomorrow.